Welcome back to Varsity Field for the second half of Montevallo men's clash with Auburn-Montgomery Warhawks. They currently lead 2-0 after an action-packed first half. Montevallo got the breakthrough in the 20th minute from a spot kick converted by Lucas Hauer. They doubled their advantage 10 minutes later in the 30th through Cesare Marconi, who capitalized on a save rebound from Stephen Ingram. Montevallo only had 8 shots in the first half. Visitors had 7, but only forced Kuta into 3 saves. Ingram also had 3 saves. Offside flag is very late on Simon van Rieden. Finally goes up on the far side. Good discipline by the Falcons back line. Cortarone and Josh Keller catching the Dutch offside. Petrovic looked very composed in possession so far today. Margolin. Zach Keller. Montevallo content to play out of the back. Haven't faced significant pressure today. And a team that has only scored 1 goal through 4.5 contests has not looked like adding to that total. Brightest spot in the first half for the visiting Warhawks was Berkeley Louvier. Came off the bench and made things happen. He's been replaced in the second half by Alexis Arriaga, the man who has the lone goal for the Warhawks in 2017. Cortarone. Falcons being afforded more and more space. They have a chance to capitalize in the second half on this and put in more goals. Or perhaps they will be content to dictate possession and the flow of the game, which they did in the first quarter without having to strain themselves too much. A pedestrian opening 4 minutes for Varsity Field in the second half. Alexandro Costa. Cut out by Petrovic. His header eludes everyone on the right side. Cesare Marconi joined up top by Luke Hauer and Liam Moore. Krenar Krasnicki conversing with his senior left back, Nico Klachar. Those two have formed a solid partnership on the left flank. Bruce Dieterle's side looked the most dangerous on Wednesday when they attacked through Klachar and Krasnicki. The German yet to score a goal. The Serbian assisted Margolin's game winner against North Georgia and has looked resolute at the back again today. There's the aforementioned Margolin with his defensive duties. Marconi is edged out of the challenge by Arriaga. His pass is instantly intercepted and the Falcons can break with numbers. Marconi does well to hold off the initial challenge of Bozashan. Hauer plays the ball for the overlapping Zach Keller to run onto, but it's cut off by Alexandro Costa. Again, the Falcons starting to ask questions early on in the half. Opening 5 minutes, and perhaps the urgency the home team opened the game with has dulled a little bit after taking the advantage. But the technical ability and the free-flowing passing has reciprocated here into the second period. Lucas Hauer's delivery forces Ingram to cut it out. Krasnicki tracking back on York makes a great challenge. Escalera striving to make something happen for the visitors. Does not get any easier for them as Gulf South play opens. Be their first season as a full member of the Gulf South. Just like the Montevallo Falcons, who are moving from the Peach Belt this season back to their old conference. Auburn-Montgomery enjoying their time in Division II, perhaps not as much as their success-laden years in the NAIA. It's been a learning curve, but it's been an adventure for Wolfcaw and all of the team. Frustrating afternoon tonight for the Warhawks. Montevallo hoping to turn today into a statement match. Perhaps a turning point in the season with better things to come. Couldn't put 2 wins together last time. They beat Trevecca Nazarene. They followed it up with a loss against Clayton State, hoping to put 2 on the trot together today after Wednesday's non-conference win over North Georgia, overturning last year's 2-0 defeat. So far, the scoreline in this one is the exact same as it was in 2016. Roca and Keller were the goal scorers on that occasion. New faces have been brought in by Coach Dieterle, not afraid to field them in today's lineup. 5 newcomers are featured in the starting 11. And 3 of the 4 that have come off the bench are also in their first seasons. And both goal scorers in their first year. Liam Moore is taking exception to that challenge from behind. Alexis Arriaga engaging himself in the argument as well, not helping things out. And Sverrir Smerison comes across to make peace. Result is a free kick in a dangerous position for Cesare Marconi. And a yellow card will be pulled out. Another challenge by an AUM player did not look like winning the ball. And again, coach removing the booked player. The AUM replacement coming on is Cooper Howard, freshman midfielder from Gainesville, Florida. Saw action in last game against Florida Tech. Margolin joins Marconi over the ball. Montevallo have started the second half in impressive fashion, and it looks a question of when rather than if they get a third goal. Marconi now left to take the delivery. Instead, he goes straight on goal, and it bounces in front of Ingram. Gets his body in the way to block it. Prevents a rebound. Despite the domination in possession by the Falcons, both goals were perhaps preventable moments. The first one was a penalty kick conceded by Wagner's clumsy challenge in the box. The second one was a rebound allowed by Ingram. Nobody closed down the on-rushing Marconi. A drifted ball over the top, almost outdid the Falcons' defense. Sun Chi-Fua could have ran onto it, missed his kick, and Kuto was off his line. It's the closest Bruce Dieterle's side has been to being breached at the back. Margolin dictating things in the midfield. Keller, 1-2 touch, intercepted Alexandro Costa. Keller is fouled hard after the challenge. And Van Rieden's frustrating afternoon continues. 10 minutes played here in the second half, and Zach Keller has stayed down. Senior from Franklin, Tennessee is back on his feet. Appears to be okay, just a little sore after the studs left in by Simon Van Rieden took him by surprise. Cortarone, lovely ball over the top into the pace of Marconi. Just gets there ahead of Ingram, who's put off temporarily. Wagner completes the clearance. Escalera brings it down nicely. Lovely turn by Alexis Arriaga. His pass by Howard. He's out-muscled by Keller. Couldn't find anybody forward. Liam Moore was the only option. It was cut out by Costa. Long ball over the top for Smerison. Finally finds Van Rieden. Van Rieden with his first side of goal today. Cuts inside of Cortarone, unleashes a shot and right into the gloves of Robert Kuta, who holds safely. Got his angles right on this occasion. Van Rieden applauds the service, something he has not received through the opening 55 minutes of this game. Best opportunity of the match for the Warhawks, who will take encouragement from that attack. Their direct approach paying off in the second half. They don't have too many options as they find themselves down 2 goals on the road. They would have to double their total goals for the season if they are to get back into this game. Lovely dummy by Cesare Marconi. Plays it to the edge of the box. Liam Moore lays it off. Josh Keller has a shot, and it's just turned over by Stephen Ingram. What a drive played in by the senior, who was set up well by the unselfish Liam Moore, who could have had a shot himself. And the captain, hands on his hips, wondering what could have been as he blasted that shot in. Ingram just diverted it enough to get it over the bar. Corner kick by Marconi, lovely flighted ball. Asked the questions of Costa. Wagner completes the clearance. There was an on-rushing Hauer at the back post. Pulled down out of the air by Keller. Instantly put under by Saint-Chifois. Keller showing his experience to calmly regain possession and restart things with his keeper. Petrovic to build out of the back. Great first time ball, almost found Liam Moore. Would have been one of the best Route 1 goals at this stadium. Escalera. Lovely footwork. Van Rieden lays it off to Howard, tries to get the reverse pass. And the Dutchman is rather frustrated with the freshman midfielder. Couldn't return the pass. Vladik Margolin. To their credit, the level of intensity is not dulled for the visitors. You can imagine the coach got into him at halftime. Liam Moore unhappy with himself with that pass. Perhaps wanted to be more incisive going forward. Kind of broke up the attack by playing the ball back to Cortarone. They tried to go from the right side. Zach Keller's pass is intercepted at the back by Smerison. Klachar invited forward. Liam Moore. Lovely back heel into the pace of the on-rushing Klachar. Klachar's overlapping run almost pays off over the head of Marconi, and Howard was too late at the far post. 15 minutes into the second half. Space is opening up for both teams. Best chance of the game for AUM came way of Simon Van Rieden, who finally got some service from his midfielders. His shot was straight into the gloves of Robert Kuta. He was trying to go 2 successive games without conceding a goal. Already has 2 shutouts on the season. Zach Keller to his twin brother, who returns it back to him. Foul in the midfield. A little too much by Alexandro Costa. Went through the back of Marconi. Marconi covers almost every blade of grass on the field. Unusual for a forward. He's not afraid to follow the ball deep into midfield to win possession for his team. Perhaps why he's more renowned as an assist leader rather than a goal scorer, but he is on the score sheet today. His first goal in a Falcons uniform. His 30th minute strike doubled the advantage and has the Falcons in cruise control here in the second half. Any AUM attack could have changed that. You can imagine their coach got into them at halftime because the response has been admirable. Failure to respect the 10-yard distance at the free kick sees another AUM player into the book. This time it's Nino Bazashan, the senior midfielder from Würzburg, Germany, pleading his innocence. But referee Pete Dacus has ordered for the clock to be stopped and someone else to join. Vilhjalmur Runarsson in the book. Krasnicki over the free kick on this occasion. Lucas Hauer making a near post run. He goes over everyone. It's headed out from the back by Costa, who's fouled by Marconi. One in the midfield by Margolin, wherever the Israelis' challenge was deemed to be over-aggressive. Went through the back of Cooper Howard. Freshman wins the free kick just inside opposition half. Bazashan urging players forward. Warhawks perhaps smell an opportunity. Attacking chances have come far and few between for the visitors. Only mustered one goal in their opening 4 games. Fortunes have not changed tonight. Conceded a soft opening goal, in their opinion, and won't be too pleased with the construction of the second one either. Margolin sends a great ball forward, well read by Smerison. Good delivery by York, straight into the gloves of Kuta. Read it. Referee has stopped time with 28:40 remaining. It appears Zach Keller has a problem on the far side. Not enough of a problem to keep him out. Interesting to see tonight the referees wearing the same color as both goalkeepers. Usually not allowed. Both goalkeepers wearing green. The referee in a slightly lighter shade. So far, none of the three have been exerted too hard. Most of the action has taken place in the midfield. Vladik Margolin, impressive in the engine room today for the Falcons. Josh Keller has showed his experience and dictated play alongside the Israeli. Ball played into Krenar Krasnicki. Can't control it. Escalera nips in. York is double teamed. Marconi wins the first challenge, wins the second, has overlapping runs. Finds Liam Moore. Liam Moore takes a drive. It might fall to Krasnicki on this occasion, and he's caught offside. The Osnabrück midfielder, just a fraction on the wrong side of the back line. Smerison, the man catching him offside. Alexis Arriaga, head down, one thing on his mind to drive forward. Escalera. Jesus cuts inside, gets the better of Klachar. Arriaga plays a ball to the far post, and that sums up AUM's afternoon. Great intentions, but no one at the far post. And an attacking opportunity comes to nothing. Well into the second half, Montevallo were good value for their 2-0 lead in the first half. Both teams have had a chance to strike back, but no one adding to the scoreline in the second period. Montevallo preparing a first substitute of the half. And Liam Moore is the man being replaced for the Falcons. Isaac Alberade from Northport, Alabama, comes onto the game. Played center forward as well as winger on Wednesday. Looked very bright in the first half when coming on. Was on the field when the Falcons got the lone goal. Here he is on the right-hand side. Has Marconi in the middle, as well as Kresnicki looking for an instant impact. It might fall to Marconi. Just cut across the ball the wrong side, and that one ends up being closer to the corner flag than the goal. Intercepted by Margolin. Lovely weight on the pass from Marconi. Krasnicki's been taking up some intelligent areas in the box. A goal might be on the horizon for the Osnabrück native, who's led the Falcons in shots so far this year. There was a run from Marconi, not found by Margolin, who goes short instead. Switches play. Just a deft little flick, showing superb ball control. Petrovic, calm in possession, goes back to his keeper. Cortarone gets things going on the left side. Klachar, lovely control with the outside of the boot. Keller uses the outside of his other foot to play it into Krasnicki. Krasnicki loses two Icelandic defenders in his wake. Zach Keller switches play to his brother. Lovely control, and he is slid into from behind, and it might be yet another booking. If it is, it's the second of the day. He would be off. Perhaps the referee will give him one last warning. Had time to come over there to think about it. Pete Dacus, knowing he's left Vilhjalmur Runarsson with very little room for error, giving him one last warning on this occasion. It's a dangerous challenge from behind, and perhaps if he hasn't already been carded, he would have gone in the book for it. Is down 2-0 on the road, only scoring one goal this season. Chipped forward, headed on by Margolin, and the same goal that he got his opener on Wednesday. Almost found more joy. It was a great opportunity for the Falcons to add a third. As it is, Alberade continues to charge forward. It's been a spark plug since coming on. Bit of miscommunication. Went long with the pass. Marconi wanted it short. Ball over the top, well read by Petrovic. Austin Petrovic seems to be loving life in a Falcons uniform. Really holds the blueprint to that back line. Dictates play, and Montevallo builds from the back. And with two players the caliber of Josh Keller and Vladik Margolin sitting in front of the back four, it's allowed the Falcons to be more airtight at the back. Falcons hoping for 2 consecutive shutouts this season and 2 consecutive shutouts against AUM to couple with last season's 2-0 victory in Montgomery. Of course, the Falcons will travel to Montgomery to face AUM in a conference clash. Today's match is a makeup game for the Falcons, who had their game against Lynn on Wednesday canceled and a game rescheduled for this afternoon. Fatigue may have played a factor, we thought, before the game, but so far the rotation of Bruce Dieterle has not allowed that to happen. Alberade continue to pressure the back line. Smarison. Christian Young, the senior, brought on as a sub, looking to get things going. Cooper Howard, wrong side of Josh Keller, can't make a challenge. Josh Keller continues to run out to the right side, delivers a lovely ball in the box, and Ingram was blinded for a second. Needed the second time of asking to corral the ball. Quick distribution out to York. Again, Marcone, a workhorse, following all the Warhawks back on every single run. Great ball in the box. Too much pace on it on this occasion by Runerson, who may be lucky to still be on the field for the final 20 minutes. Picked up a yellow in the first half and a strong challenge on Zach Keller a few moments ago. Had the referee questioning whether to produce a second and send off the Icelandic left back. As it is both teams at their full complement of 11. Halftime lead still intact for Bruce Dieterle's side. The Falcons are preparing two subs, afraid that their play has just grown stagnant in the past 5 minutes. Josh Keller and Vladik Margolin continuing to dictate play. Marconi, a willing runner. And this time, Krasnicki's run on the far side of the field, spotted, but Ingram beat him to it. And perhaps out of position now as York gallops down the right side. Good strength shown by Alexander Wagner, who's playing in a more attacking position in this second half. Keller calmly back to Petrovic. Good ball over the top. Lucas Hauer putting pressure on Runerson, who loses the ball. Marconi making a lovely solo run and almost had a goal to reward. The Italian, head and hands, almost was rewarded for his adventure. Coach Dieterle will make his two substitutes. Josh Keller, who's had an unbelievable afternoon, comes off to be replaced by Thomas Peckel. Lucas Hauer, the other man making way, Liam Moore on in his place. 71 minutes played. Montevallo still up 2-0 and good value for their 2-goal advantage over the Warhawks. Visitors haven't really threatened, and they have removed Simon van Rieden, who had the best opportunity of the half. The referee waving off all the protests by the Falcons players, who've been a well-behaved bunch compared to past seasons. A lot more disciplined. Perhaps that's another attribute the Falcons have to gain this season. Had a very successful 11-win year last year, but fell in the Peach Belt tournament. Young. Ball played into Alexis Arriaga, who was fouled by Margolin. Perhaps a bit of fatigue setting in for the Israeli, who's been a picture of industry all game today. Never giving an attacker a moment's yard of space. And they have clogged all of the passing lanes. A few times Robert Kuta has been tested. His defenders have kept him at a distance in which their shots have not troubled. The one time they got in behind, Van Rieden's effort was straight at the keeper's gloves. Montevallo have had flashes of chances to add a third and put the game all but out of reach. Yet to do so. While that is the case, and there's still 17 minutes on the clock, the Warhawks will continue to press. Montevallo content to soak up pressure. This is performance not dissimilar to last year's 2-0 victory, which saw Roca and Kevin Francis get the goals on that occasion. Bruce Dieterle perhaps was concerned when Roca graduated. He'd played 4 seasons, came back after it appeared he had graduated, decided to stay at the school for an extra year. Many Falcons fans appreciated his hard work last year. He was the talisman of that team, a real leader at the back. And Petrovic, his apprentice from last year, appears to have learned well. The back line has gotten sorted out. Looks a lot more stingy than they did in the opening 3 contests. Alberade wins a foul. Or rather concedes a foul. He was hoping to win the foul. He stayed down. Costa, the man he's tussled with. Christian Young trying to work a yard of space. It's closed out by Krasnicki, forces the ball in, and that duo of Krasnicki and Klachar continues to extinguish any attack forward. Past seasons, the Falcons had a couple losing seasons with Yannick Horn at goal. However, it was not the German goalkeeper's fault. So many goals were conceded in 2015 and 14. Montevallo's defense was very uncharacteristic in those seasons, has shored up at the back. Significant improvement last year has continued this season, and there are encouraging signs. Zach Keller and Klachar bring experience, as does Austin Petrovic. And Cortarone appears to be a good missing link to put everything together at the back. Liam Moore looking to add a third. His pass finds Alberade, and it just skipped up and ahead of him. Freshman airs his frustration at getting under the ball, his effort nowhere near goal. As Bruce Dieterle prepares yet another substitution. And it's a return to the field for Josh Keller. Nicholas Peckel's cameo off the bench is over.
Number 7, Josh Keller.
Not content to rest on their laurels, it appears. Bringing back on arguably the game's most influential player, who's fouled from behind. It's good to see the senior not exaggerating the challenge, stayed on his feet. The referee was in a good position to call it. Cooper Howard, the guilty party. Petrovic up to take the free kick. For once, Petrovic not on the same page with the players ahead of him. Ball drifts out harmlessly for a goal kick. Stephen Ingram has had less to do in this second half. Threat on his goal has been there. Credit to the Warhawks back line, who shored up. Smarison has been responsible for acting as a sweeper at the back. The referee talking to Alexandro Costa. It's been a physical battle between Costa and the Falcons attackers. And an accumulation of challenges sees Vladik Margolin become the first Falcon in the book. The referee just explaining that it was not for that challenge. There wasn't much in that. I'm not sure why he pulled up on this occasion. But Vladik has received his warning multiple occasions throughout the game. And the build-up of fouls sees him into the referee's pocketbook. Delivery from Runarsson tested some players. Clearance completed by Petrovic. Howard pumps it back into the box. Alexis Arriaga wins a corner kick. It's their third of the game. A team that came in with only 3 on the season. The previous 2 deliveries have left a lot to be desired. Arriaga with this one cut out at the near post. Margolin This sets away Liam Moore, who's fouled by the retreating Cooper Howard, and surely another card coming out. One of the most predictable moments of the game. Freshman Cooper Howard becoming the 4th Warhawk to be booked today. 12 minutes to go from Varsity Field on a humid Saturday afternoon. Montevallo looking to go 2-0 on the season on their own soil. But first a substitute, and again, Coach Wolfkaw sticking to his policy of substituting booked players. So Cooper Howard will have to think about it on the sideline. Simon Van Rieden, who's had the best chance of the second half despite a frustrating night, returns to action and is joined up top by Alexander Wagner. We'll hope to right his wrong in the first half, conceding the penalty which gave Lucas Hauer the chance to convert from 12. Runerson. The ball's cut out by Alberade. Arriaga. Out wide to Young, who has some space on the right side. The less said about that, the better. Christian Young got it all wrong. It's going wrong for the freshmen. It's going wrong for the seniors. It's just not happening at the moment for the Warhawks. Montevallo have been in cruise control for the majority of the second half. Bright sign for Coach Dieterle and assistant Coach Gregory to see his team continuing to talk to each other, keep up good communication on the field. A team that consists of so many players from different countries, different languages, different schools and states. Took them a while to gel, as you would expect. A heavy touch here by Wagner, or he would have been through on goal. Heroic block by the Serbian Klačar. Wagner looked like a defender in the penalty box on that occasion. Fell to his feet, needed perhaps an extra second to allow Klačar to recover. Falcons reminded of their defensive responsibilities on that occasion. Smarison sends the ball in the box. And Petrovic looking for a foul by Van Rieden. Instead, another corner kick. Runerson runs across the sides to take from the left-hand side, the 5th corner kick of the game for the visitors. Good delivery. Arriaga was the man in the area, headed out by Petrovic. Hoofed back into the box by Cade Bryant. No one in attendance. Goal kick as we enter the final 10 minutes of the game. Despite the recent fortune for the Falcons, AUM holds a 6-4 advantage in this series. Today will only close that to 6-5 if the Falcons win. It's the first time AUM has traveled to Montevallo since 2008 when they won 2-1. Here's a chance for the Falcons. Alberade shoots it straight at the keeper, and Ingram is forced to make a smart stop. If not, they would have been rewarded with a 3rd goal to add a little bit of gloss to the scoreline. Ingram prevents further embarrassment. Montevallo will have to settle for a corner. Cesare Marconi goes across to take. 81 minutes played from Varsity Field. Marconi, high delivery to the far post. Alberade meets it in the air. Ingram punches it, can't keep it off the line, and it's turned in for the 3rd. At long last, Liam Moore was the man in the area, but it fell to Vladik Margolin, and it's a fantastic week for the Israeli. His 2nd in 2 games. Not a bad scoring record for a defensive midfielder. Vladik Margolin's anticipation is rewarded yet again. Second goal off a deflection in the box. 3-0, and that's all game done and dusted. Liam Moore credited with the assist. Perhaps the best goal scored from a coach's point of view by the Falcons. Christian Young's had a difficult afternoon all day. Warhawks will hope he does not take his frustration out on Thomas Peckle, who muscles him out of the challenge. Peckle plays a great ball to Howard, and things could get worse at the other end. Montevallo look in the mood. Howard just delays a second. Liam Moore tries a curling ball into the box, and well read by Ingram. Was looking for the upper 90 on the right side. Didn't curl enough. Things have become stretched at the other end. Van Rieden picking it up in an attacking position. Lays it off to Arriaga. His pass was slightly behind him. Had to track back to get it, but returns the ball to the Dutchman. And Van Rieden has space, and Van Rieden controls it. Great save by Kuta. Turned aside, it might fall for Young after Wagner did not make anything of the rebound, and the Falcons are let off the hook on the first dangerous attack of the second half. Van Rieden, who had the only glimpse of goal earlier, was instrumental here, and perhaps wasteful for not converting that opportunity. Wouldn't have made too much a difference as far as result, but a road goal could have brought about confidence to carry into next contest. Of course, the Falcons and the Warhawks will meet again in what is a conference clash. Today is a makeup game for the Falcons, who will not face Lynn on Wednesday and instead decided to play a game today against AUM. 6 minutes remain. There's an injured Falcon on the far side. Austin Petrovic is the man on the ground, worrying signs for Coach Dieterle. He's captain, senior leader at the back. Petrovic down on the far side receiving treatment. For the moment, Peckle has drifted back to take up center back. Arad Lev Ari has been brought on. Daniel Muyambi has also come on for the Falcons. Pulled out of the air in the midfield by Cooper Howard, who's fouled. It's been a tough learning curve for the freshman, who's picked up a yellow card. He's been second best to most challenges. Arriaga. Too much on the pass. And it has been one of the most frustrating afternoons of Christian Young's career, it must be said. The senior from Millbrook, Alabama, fails to control the overhit ball by Arriaga. And that has summed up the afternoon for Auburn-Montgomery. 85 minutes played. Montevallo have been all over the visitors, coasting to a 3-0 advantage. Cooper Howard gets to the ball ahead of Lev Ari and wins a foul. If nothing else, Cooper Howard has learned the lesson of physicality in D2 soccer. Bell played over the top for Wagner to run onto, and Wagner, it's touched by Kuta. Another chance for Wagner. He can't capitalize, and Kuta not wanting this back line to concede a goal, trying to earn a third consecutive clean sheet and could get a goal on an instant counterattack. Liam Moore tries to flick it over the on-rushing Ingram, who gets just about enough on the ball. Smarison completes the clearance. Hacked away by Klachar. Howard and Howard exchanging shoves in the midfield. Headed out by Cortarone. Final 4 to play. The referee trying to make sure this one doesn't boil over between two in-state rivals. Perhaps has to book another player. There were a lot of afters, a lot of words spoken. No love lost between these two. Perhaps this rivalry has intensified even more now that they will be regularly visiting each other and are in the same conference at the same level of play. Referee going over to his assistant to make sure no further action is needed. Poor clearance there, gives half a chance to Arriaga. It might fall in the box. Cooper Howard had half a chance, swung at it. His effort was blocked by Petrovic. Right place, right time. Young has had a difficult afternoon, plays it in the box. It's pulled out of the air, and the applause from the crowd as they can feel another straight home victory and shutout. This time the Polish keeper happy to let it run out of play. Simon van Rieden is running to try to get the ball back in play. But before that, Coach Dieterle will make a pair of substitutions. Kai Pham is brought on to the game in place of Cesare Marconi. Kai Pham trying to make an instant impact. Shows a lot of aggression, but fouls Cooper Howard. .87 minutes played, dying embers of the game. Warhawk sending everyone forward for Vilhjalmur Runarsson's free kick. Runarsson, it's flicked on by Arriaga. A lovely scorpion kick. Makeshift contact carries it into the safe hands of Robert Kuta. Third shutout is on the horizon for the Zielona Góra native. Cortarone plays the ball. It looks as if Liam Moore may have beat the offside trap. The official's flag was up straight away. He had made it up in his mind that William York had moved up quick enough to catch Moore offside. Split-second decision. Most difficult call in soccer to make, offside. Difficult header to make at the back by Cortarone, who manages to get it cleared. It's been a difficult afternoon on both ends of the field for Wagner, though he works a yard of space. Young, dangerous pass inside for Arriaga, sees it intercepted, and perhaps the Falcons can break. Kai Pham almost sent through a teammate, Arad Lev Ari. Anthony Matabosh plays the ball. Well read by Smerison. Young, final 90 seconds from varsity field. Montevallo closing in on a winning record for the first time this year. A third win and a second successive home victory. And there's a wonderful strike to cap things off. The cherry on the icing on the cake from senior captain Josh Keller. 4-0. Bruce Dieterle's side are in Wonderland. And the Franklin, Tennessee midfielder is rewarded for his strong play in midfield, his endless running. Top scorer from a couple seasons ago. Shows he knows how to strike a dead ball as good as anyone else on the team. And cranks one past Stephen Ingram to add some gloss to the scoreline. Not more than the Falcons deserved. They have continued to go at their opponents, and two in each half sees them about to equal their largest margin of victory in this young season. 2 4-0 victories. 3-2 does not appear to be too bad of a record, despite the alarm that was raised after the opening few games of the season showed the Falcons very wanting in the attacking half of the field. Krenar Krasnicki has grown in stature, and they've found some pace from substitutes Muyambi, Alberade, Lucas Hauer. Liam Moore appears to not mind substituting assisting goals as well from a substitute position. An offside flag raised. Very contentious. Liam Moore is arguing. It appears the referees just got confused there because it did not seem that Luke Garner was offside. And Moore and Garner are after the referee. Kai Pham is going in the book for his protests. 2 minutes of play for Pham, 1 card. 30 seconds in the game, and neither of the teams have lost their appetite for soccer. 4-0 the scoreline. Unless the Falcons can mount yet another trademark counterattack goal. This is the scoreline we will stay with. It will match the largest margin of victory. Might be looked back as a turning point. The Warhawks have sent up Stephen Ingram. Not sure why. That's usually something you employ when you're down 1 goal, not 4. But perhaps wanting just some sort of consolation, and an unbelievable stop by Robert Kuta at point-blank range. Read the eyes of midfielder Eddie Steers and turned it aside. The clean sheet has been well-deserved by Robert Kuta, who made sure of it there with that final stop on Eddie Steers. Auburn-Montgomery leads the series, but have lost the last 2 contests by a combined score of 6-0. Are off to an 0-5 start, their worst under the reign of Wolf Ka. Falcons improved to 3-2. Will face Auburn-Montgomery in a couple weeks in what will be a Gulf South contest. This is the last time the teams will meet as non-conference foes. Montevallo dominant today. Got out to the lead in the 20th minute. Spot kick by Lucas Hauer was converted to give the Falcons a deserved lead. They doubled the advantage before the breakthrough. Cesare Marconi was turned aside by Stephen Ingram in an easy rebound goal, the first of the year for the Italian, who had 3 assists in the win over Trevecca Nazarene. The second half started at a slightly more tame pace than the first. The visitors pushed hard for a route back into goal, and they left themselves open at the back, which allowed 2 more Falcons to score. It was Josh Keller that put in the 4th to add gloss to the scoreline after Vladik Margolin added his 2nd in a week to make it 3. Final scoreline is 4-0 from Varsity Field. That is not the end, however, of the soccer action from the university this weekend. Join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Falcon Athletic Network. We'll have the last part of this soccer marathon. The women's team, who won yesterday 2-1 in dramatic overtime win, will welcome North Alabama for their 3rd Gulf South Conference clash of the season. They are 2-1, 1-1 in the conference. A pivotal matchup for Robert Lane in his 3rd season, but Coach Bruce Dieterle's 5th year got off to a difficult start after losing opening day clash in Anderson and then losing a game in which they were favored against Clayton State. Today they've turned things around and built on Wednesday's 1-0 victory against North Georgia. 4 different Falcons on the score sheet, again spreading the wealth around. 4-0 victory, and they send the Warhawks home, hoping to improve things before the conference clash. Final score from Varsity Field, 4-0. I'm Alex Tejada for the Falcons Athletic Network. Thank you for watching Montevallo Soccer.